Working 18-hour days, I slipped and I fell. Windows up and hit me, I had to change well. There's no way to sustain it, you'll crash and burn. Will not be able to work and no way to earn. Change well, and then you can leave. Change well, and your kids you get feed. Turn your life around for the final bell. It's now or never, you have to change well. It's now or never, you must change well. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Change Well podcast. Now, before we start doing the podcast, I just want to mention something. It's a little bit off topic, but I just came back, and you won't believe this. I'm sorry to even admit it, but I came back from the Barry Manilow last concert in Austin yesterday. And surprisingly, I liked Barry Manilow growing up, but not so much, right? He's not the coolest guy to like when you were 18 or whatever I was back in the day. But I got to say, that concert was really, really good. And he still has a beautiful voice. But enough about Barry Manilow. Let's move on to the topic today. And surprisingly, there's a singer involved in this one too. So who knew? Anyway, today we're going to talk all about the importance of change. And two of the people that really spoke to me about change are Winston Churchill and David Bowie. Yeah, I know they're both Brits and they're kind of an odd combination, but let me explain. Now, Winston Churchill wrote one of my favorite mottos, and it says, "To improve is to change, so to be perfect is to change often." His life mirrored this motto. Churchill switched parties twice, held many diverse jobs in his 60 years of public life, and most importantly, to the way the world is right now, he changed strategy and tactics during World War II. And he also was a noted chameleon in all kinds of forms. He was an author, he was a writer, I guess they're the same thing. He also was a politician. He also was an artist. So Winston Churchill knew a lot about change. And he said to improve is to change. The next one is his British compatriot, was David Bowie. And everybody knows David Bowie. They called him the musical chameleon. And one of his my favorite songs is Changes. And here's a lyric from it. Changes, turn and face the strain. Changes, don't want to be a richer man. Changes, turn and face the strain. Changes, they're gonna have to be a different man. Time may change me, but I can't change time. Now, I can't do that. Changes that good. But you get the point. And surprisingly, I didn't know the lyrics exactly right. So I learned them today. So a profound truth is captured in Churchill's motto and Bowie's song. No one on this earth is perfect. And if they achieve something close to perfection for a brief moment, let's say a successful project or an inspiring blog, the ebb and flow of time and circumstances will make that moment fleeting. Complacency is not the friend of improvement or perfection. Indeed, the perfection of today is mediocrity of tomorrow. And as Bowie sings, you must turn and face the strange. That's the lyric I didn't know. I thought it was turn and face the change. But turn and face the strange is even a better lyric because you have to take chances and try something that is strange to break out of your complacency and to improve. As Bowie sings, you must turn and face the strange to be a different man or person. So those are the lyrics, and that's the motto. Here are some steps to make change a habit and constant improvement a trait. Now, the first thing I want to say is savor the moment and then move on. Sometimes when we get something right, we tend to relish the victory a bit too long. Everyone should take a moment to celebrate the success, but in today's victory often lies the seeds of tomorrow's defeat. You can look through history. They say everybody fights the last winning war and then they get defeated. So you got to stay away from complacency. So that is why taking a moment to relish your accomplishment is essential, but do not only focus on what is right when you win. Look for specific reasons that made the solution right in the circumstances at hand. And any item, even there's always one. There's usually more than one that could have been better even when you think it was perfect and you had a victory. So that's the first thing. Don't get complacent in victory. Look for the reasons it was right at the time and look at what possibly didn't go as well as it could have in that circumstance. The next thing is harden your resolve and learn from mistakes. Sometimes things go to the opposite of perfect and badly wrong. Whether a battle scar was self-inflicted or due to circumstances beyond your control, there's always something to learn from it. Reflecting on this idea, I used to have a segment in my group's technical monthly meeting. It was called Battle Scar Galactica. And in that, we would get all the skilled tech people and say, tell us your worst battle scar and how you resolved it and what you learned from it and how it helped you to change to be better. So look at your battle scars and remember them. You'll have a little wound there sometimes and you can't forget it. And when we use this to harden our resolve, it helps us to move on to bigger and better things. Which leads us to the third point. You have to have faith. Sometimes you have something go wrong, so you need to fail forward and learn from your mistakes, giving you the faith to change and try something new that improves the situation. There was a part in Bowie's song, The Stream of Impermanence, or something like time is impermanent. Either the good in life or the bad in life is not permanent. You need to seize upon what went bad and have faith that it can drive you forward to seek new opportunities and constantly improve your habits. And finally, change with a purpose and a plan. Change without a plan is chaos. If you change your mind every 2 seconds, your mind is chaotic. If you change direction, you get lost. Churchill did not change Great Britain's strategy during World War II to just change things up, hoping things would improve. Likewise, Bowie didn't progress from Ziggy Stardust to the Thin White Duke and many other personas on a whim. He wanted to follow the musical trends and change, or in his case, lead the musical trends. And he didn't rest on complacency. No. Both of them reflected on what their experience told them would work in changing circumstances. They took what they learned, they didn't rest on their laurels, and they changed it and noted the changing circumstances. They lived Bowie's lyric, "Time may change me, but I can't trace time." So you learn from the time in your experiences, and they will change you if you let them to be better. But you can't trace what the next thing in time is going to be. So you need to adapt. That's why change is important. Bottom line is this. We are all a work in progress, changing into the person we want to become. The goal is to make a habit of changing to become the person and achieve the purpose you were put on this earth to accomplish. To change well, you must press onward, not wallowing in complacency or defeat, but learning from your mistakes and adapting to the flow of time. Let's make change a habit and move on to a better you. And until next week, change well.